This video will cover the media and logging tools available in BrightAuthor 3.0. These tools provide a number of features ranging from allowing greater insight into the effectiveness of your presentations with features such as media counters and logging, to providing greater control of interactive elements by use of user variables, as well as other new features. Of note, BrightAuthor 3.0 or later is required for use with the new Brightsign models announced in or after 2012, and is encouraged for use with all models. Let's get started. Media counters record how many times a file within your presentation has been played. This gives greater insight into the effectiveness of your media elements and user behavior. Here's how to set up media counters. Go to the Presentation Properties dialog box, then the Variables tab. Check the Automatically Create Media Counter Variables checkbox. This will set your Brightsign unit to log the number of times each media file is played. You'll need to see that data, so the next step is to set up some live text to access that counter data. At the appropriate place in your presentation, create a live text element, then just tie it to the media counter. Alternatively, media counters can also be set up to be extracted from the Brightsign unit via USB. As an idea, you can easily create a dashboard showing all counters for your presentation, and make this accessible only with a certain keystroke, button, or other restricted command, so you can see the presentation performance at the end of the day or week. You can use the live text formatting options and background image support to design and lay out your dashboard how you'd like. Logging for standalone units provides a convenient way to gather unit diagnostics and playback data for a unit that is not connected to a network. It's also a solution to get data from a network unit that has for one reason or another stopped sending log information, allowing you to get that log data directly from the device. Here's how to set it up. First, enable the standard logging options for your unit under the Unit Setup in BrightAuthor. Use Setup USB Drive to capture device data by going to Tools, Advanced. This window will give you the option of which logs you'd like to save to the USB drive upon insertion, as well as options to delete the logs after saving them to the USB drive, rebooting, and whether or not to display the data transfer status on screen. One important requirement is to wait until the data transfer is complete before removing the USB drive. Do take note of on-screen status updates during this process. User variables allow you to create customized presentation values that can be referenced later within your presentation en masse, and also adjusted later from events in your presentation or by user input. The value of the user variable will define an initial setting, but that variable can be adjusted at any time throughout the presentation by using the Set Variable command. For instance, we may have a multiple screen presentation and an initial value set for a sync command that is used to tell a secondary screen what video to play at a certain point. But by creating this as a user variable first, we can change the value of that sync command on the fly, based on the viewer's response or input, reactively telling the other screen to play something different. Or we could create a volume variable for our presentation that will not only set a consistent volume for all media to inherit, but we can also allow that volume to be adjustable by using the Set Variable command. Finally, the Reset Variable command can be used at any point to reset the variable back to its initial presentation state. User variables can be used in the following commands. As an example, let's create a volume variable for our project. First, create a user variable for volume. Set its initial state to 50. All files will now by default play at a volume level of 50. Now, to let the user control this variable, we can create 4 levels of volume on the home screen. In this example, we have a touch screen, so we'll use a touch event for our controls. But really, we could use any event in our presentation. Within the event, we'll go to the Advanced section and set up our Set Variable command. We'll assign a Set Variable command to each of the touch zones and an ascending volume value of 25, 50, 75, and 100. And that's it. We've created a user variable and used it for volume control. It's also important to note that the values last assigned to user variables remain set when the Brightsign player reboots. BrightAuthor 3.0 now enables the use of a proxy server with your Brightsign unit. To use a proxy server, go to your Brightsign unit setup panel and check the Use Proxy checkbox. Type the address and port number in the fields below. For local storage and local networking, the Publishing Progress bar is now improved to show how many files in the presentation have been published, as well as how many are still left to go. The progress itself now reflects the publishing of each file instead of the entire project altogether. Also available are new firmware options. You can now specify which firmware to include with publishing for both the previous BrightSign models as well as the new 2012 models. These advanced features of BrightAuthor 3.0 are very powerful. In fact, you will likely continue to discover new ways to use them in your presentations. And remember, if you're unsure of any settings or feature, or just need a refresher, you can always refer to your BrightAuthor user guide that comes with the software. Now put those new features to work for your presentations and your business.